So this is going to be the one and only video that you'll need about red pill. I know that's kind of a funny title or funny thing to say, but I'm serious. And it's going to be short too. So save you some time. Red pill is helpful. Look it up yourself, right? Helpful for guys to look into or learn about female nature, terms like hypergamy, or basically picking their best option, and show that you understand female nature when you're dating. This is very important, and the reason for that is because a lot of guys don't, and they think they do, and they focus on all the outward things, right? Like their riches, their finances, right? Their body, and just other things that they just see initially, right? And don't get me wrong, you should work on those things. Do not get that twisted. But you also need to work on your character, like the kinds of things you're consuming, like the books you're reading, the activities you're doing, like getting out in nature. You're actually becoming the man that she's gonna want to, because you're gonna attract who you are, right? So even if you look like buff and rich, like if you don't know what you're doing, if you're still fearful and weird, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And you see tons of examples of this, like I believe like Michael B. Jordan, like the famous actor. Just there's plenty of people who got into those positions because they thought that's what would get them a great relationship, and it bombed, right? And the reason for that is because they had no idea what they were doing. They didn't understand dating or female nature. And you actually see that a ton with guys in general, actors or common examples, right? It's like someone works their whole life to be a doctor, a lawyer, or, some kind of great job. They get in shape, right? They're looking like an Avenger or something, Captain America, and they always fumble when it comes to dating, or they get themselves into a mess with like divorce, kids, XYZ. So don't do that. And what you need to know is that women are great, and it will help you to get out there and get dating experience. Don't put it off, okay? That's what so many people do, is they put it off, and then they're like totally socially inept when it comes to socializing or dating because they focus on all these other things first. Include that in your self-improvement journey. It's a social skill for a reason, right? So don't neglect that. At least go on like a date a week or something like that. And if you have to consume any red pill content, only do it for a little while, right? It's like watch anything else, right? Like you're trying to learn how to do something. Eventually, you probably watched enough videos, read enough books, whatever, to have an idea of how to get started. Don't wait to get started, because you're going to get stuck in the cycle of just watching videos, reading books forever, right? And not actually doing anything about it. And that's the thing I see the most with like a lot of red pill stuff, right? Is a lot of guys, they make a mistake with a girl, or they go through a breakup, whatever happens, and they get really bitter. They learn about the red pill stuff, and they get stuck in the red pill cycle, right? So it's called like red pill rage, and basically they stay mad or stay bitter. And there's a saying, right? You could stay bitter, or you could get better. And that's what I recommend you do, is learn what you can about red pill, female nature, whatever you want to call it, and get yourself out there. Continue to improve yourself, because you're supposed to be doing that anyways, right? If there's anything that I would recommend checking out, just look up a few videos up on it. Don't spend too much time on it. Maybe read Rollo Tomasi's first book, Write the Rational Male, or Richard Cooper's The Unplugged Alpha. I'm not a big fan of like throwing that word around. It's a little bit cheesy, but for all purposes, it's a good title, right? And they're both helpful. to illustrate most of what you need to know to start dating again. Because that's the whole point of all this stuff, is not to go lock yourself in a room and never date again, right? Because that's a lot of guys get in the bitter zone and they do that. In that way, you're not going to find that partner, that mother of your children. Remember that. You can't stay bitter about this. And lastly, just on that note, don't be one of those guys who like just comments on Instagram posts or YouTube videos, and all they're doing is watching one of the podcasts where they're bringing in lower quality women all day, right? And just like making bitter whatever comments. You know what those kinds of guys are. There's goblins, basically, or gremlins. And some of those podcasts, they have episodes that are like educational, which are good. And then some of them where they just got the room full of lower quality women. And you might want to watch one of those just to get an idea. But after that, it's just like a bunch of guys feeling sorry for themselves. And it's like, it's almost like the male equivalent of the Kardashians. It's just like, typing comments because they're upset, and then their brain's kind of oozing out the side of their ear. And I'm saying all this to say, watch a few things. Watch some that are more educational. If you look in Red Pill or whatever you need to do, read those books I told you about. Learn and actually start applying this stuff. Actually start dating, because I promise you, dating's gonna go a lot better for you now that you know. And don't stay stuck. Don't stay bitter. Dating gets a lot better once you know this stuff. I promise. You got this, man.